we know we all want to see better days. And when we leave here, we got to continue to push that. Continue to push social injustice, continue to push for voter suppression, continue to push for police brutality, continue to push for everything that's the opposite of love. And I think if we could continue to do that, all of us, America would be a much better place, which we all love this country.
LeBron James, the only player ever to win an NBA Finals MVP with 3 different teams. He scored a triple-double last night to secure the 4th world championship of his already historic career. He might be the greatest basketball player of all time. They debate that on other networks, not this one. And yet, all that's just part of his legacy. You saw right after that Game 6 victory, he was already talking about what's next for a social justice movement that he's helped propel. That spirit of civic and social engagement persisted right after last night's game in the form of this new ad. Watch.
To us, this was always about more than basketball. We said we would bring the fight here. And while the season is over, the work is not.
Joining our conversation, our friend, WNBA player, member of the LeBron James-led More Than a Vote campaign, Renee Montgomery. First, what a win, what a moment in the shadow of the tragic death of Kobe Bryant, the victory for LeBron. Just first, as a basketball fan, what did you think last night?
Yeah, thank you for having me. First of all, I got to say that I love y'all's breakdowns after all the debates and everything with you, Joy, and Rachel. But for me, I love it. Yeah, so for me, I can't, it's hard to put in words because when you have a tragedy happen, such as what happened with Kobe and Gigi, you know, everybody's playing for them. You know that you want to win for them. You want to do everything right for them. So for the Lakers to be able to do that and successfully do that, I mean, I see why they were crying, you know, and people were crying, not just for the victory, but this was a long, hard season, you know, being in the bubble, having your season split into 2 seasons. So I think this win is a culmination of just everything.
It's so interesting how the heart of sports cuts through all the noise and all the bleakness. And you're right, there's so many accomplishments. The NBA bubble managed to get through its abbreviated second half of its season without any positive COVID cases, really showing, I think, that model is safer than what Major League Baseball is doing, what football is doing. But I thought it was so remarkable that seconds after the win, LeBron had his eye on November. How important is this effort, which you're working on with him, to him?
Yeah, well, you know, today we're 22 days out, just in case anybody had a countdown like me. We're 22 days out. And the reason that that's important is because here in Georgia, early voting has already started. So now, even with Lyft, you can use a code with Lyft and get a free ride. And you can start early. And the reason that is so important is he handled his business in the bubble, you know, and they talked about it in the advertisement, bringing the fight there on the court. No one can argue that any athlete just in this time period didn't bring the fight there. So check, that's a box checked. And, you know, LeBron is a very goal-oriented guy, you know, and so he achieved one goal and he moved right on to the next. Then we don't want it to be lip service. You know, we want everybody to have a game plan to figure out what you're going to do and execute that game plan to vote.
I am not going to play it, but I just want to tell our viewers that Rush Limbaugh and Donald Trump are driven wild by what y'all are doing. I mean, they were attacking LeBron on Friday. That was before last night's victory. I mean, it doesn't matter that they're bothered personally, but I think in politics, when the other side is hand-wringing, you know you're scaring them. You know you're getting closer. What will be sort of the definitions of success for LeBron of this voting access, voting rights campaign?
The numbers, you know, we know the numbers last election, you know, 60% of available voters voted. Well, we can't do that again. We've heard everybody say it doesn't matter what's going to change. We're stuck in this pandemic. Yeah, but we got to start somewhere, right? We have to start somewhere to get ourselves out of this hole that we've dug ourselves in. And when I talk about holes, there's a lot of them. You know, there's the pandemic. There's a work crisis right now. There's a love crisis. And I'm glad LeBron addressed that, because right now we see the videos, people attacking each other. It's only getting worse the closer we get to election time. Yeah, that's unacceptable. And in a country where we're supposed to be united, I'm glad LeBron brought it up, because we look really divided in our news cycle. And hopefully we can look for better days, and we can start with November 3rd.
Do you think there's a part of LeBron that was made aware of Laura Ingrams, who's a Fox News host, saying that he should shut up and dribble, that sort of took that? I mean, because you follow his career, and he takes a challenge, he makes a plan, it encompasses his body, his mind, his spirit, and he sort of moves the universe around those goals. Do you think there was something put in motion by someone suggesting he should keep his talents on the court?
Yeah, a whole brand started, you know, a whole brand that I wanted to be a part of, more than an athlete brand. You know, she said what everyone else was thinking, you know, and that's the thing. Like, so she said it out loud, so she's the one we talk about. But there's been plenty of news articles. There's been plenty of fans. There's been plenty of everyone telling athletes, just go play. Like, let the politicians handle the politics, and you guys handle the sports. That's a common thought process. So yeah, something birthed from that, something beautiful, more than an athlete birthed from that. And that tells you the kind of the psyche of LeBron, where he took that super negative situation and built a brand off of it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.